Dear gossip girlies, story seekers, let's get ready for this week's deep dish. On Coco Confessions with Kate, your anonymous stories come to the surface. We'll laugh, we'll cry, and you will definitely experience some secondhand embarrassment. So grab your cocoa and cozy up. Hi and welcome back to the It's a Girl Thing podcast. Today we're here for another episode of Coco Confessions. I'm Kate, and I have my favourite fabulous observers again behind the camera. Hopefully we'll get some input because it looks like we've got some good stories today. So, we've got two new stories today. We've got entry 2 and entry 20 that came off the magical random spinny number wheel. So if you haven't already, make sure you go grab your cup of cocoa, your cup of tea, coffee, raspberry milk if you want to be like me a couple weeks ago. Up to you. But this is still my favourite Swiss Miss hot chocolate, except I think it's getting a little bit cold now because I didn't put enough hot water in. But it should last us. So let's get started with entry number 2. I agreed to meet an online date that was easily a 45-minute Uber ride on my end. My first thought is, why can't we drive? But if you're going to the effort of meeting an online date 45 minutes away, I wouldn't want to Uber 45 minutes for an online date. We don't have, not context that I can see. Just for an online date, someone you've never met. Oh, are we ready for the next sentence? There was a major snowstorm going on that night. I feel like that's just the luck, though, honestly. Imagine having that kind of luck when you're trying to go on a date that you're already having to fork out for. Or that'd make it an even longer ride, too. 45 minutes could easily turn into like an hour and a half. And then you just feel bad because you've cancelled on someone. Oh yeah, or if you get stuck at the... And I don't particularly think we want to go home with a guy we've just met. Hey, and if you do, good for you, but personally couldn't. I wore a gorgeous cashmere sweater with my favourite denim. This is relevant. Why do I instantly feel like something's getting spilled on the white cashmere? When I hear white, and if I hear it's relevant to the story, it's because something is gonna stain. After texting him I'd be late because traffic was horrific in the storm, called it. Very happy that I called that. He swiftly replied that he's already there and waiting with a glass of wine. Good for him. I feel like, you gotta get a little bit of alcohol in before meeting your new date from an online website or whatever. Abby, there's a word that I don't think you're gonna like very much. Turns out, while choosing a spot equidistant from both our homes, we have if you didn't conclude, we have a real problem with the word equidistant here. We use it a lot in our medical imaging critiquing of our images. We don't understand why we can't just use the word equal and the word distant instead of equidistant. Who knows? If somebody knows the answer, though, to why we use that and not both words, please let me know. I feel like that might solve my problems if I know why we do it, instead of just that we... Okay, we'll read that sentence again because there's more to it. Turns out while choosing a spot equidistant from both of our homes, he actually lied about his whereabouts and chose a spot 2 minutes from his home. Red freaking flag. They chose a spot that was supposedly halfway between them, but actually it was 2 minutes from his house. I know, men. In a nutshell, just men. So, while I was the one paying for Ubers, he walked. That's so... That's a rage. Oh gosh. Upon getting there, he was completely bladdered. He talked about his ex for the first half hour non-stop. All very denigrating material. I feel like that's supposed to say degrading. But I get the point. Degrading material, by the way. Second red flag. I feel like that's more than 2 red flags already. 3 strikes, and you're out. Oh, I called it! Then accidentally knocked his red wine over, spilling it on my attire and ruining my sweater. That's like red flag number 4 you should be dunning on by now. The fact that he talked about his ex for the first half hour too, and bad, that's such a red flag in itself. It's one thing to talk about your ex in a positive light. That's still not great. but at least you show that you can have good terms with people. Shows the kind of person someone is. But to just go in and be like, oh yeah, let's talk about my ex, she sucks, and I don't know why I ever dated her in the first place. Yeah. And even, I probably wouldn't personally badmouth my exes too much to my friends anyway, because it doesn't mean that they were necessarily a bad person, they just weren't the right person for me. Oh, he did not apologise and didn't offer to pay for dry cleaning. Red flag number however many. But it can't even be like he's specifically broke, because he decided to order a glass of wine before she even arrived. And wine at restaurants and stuff ain't cheap, and if they're going out and she's dressing up, it implies to me that they were going out to some kind of nice place. When I decided to get my half of a bill and run like a bat out of hell, he dropped the I forgot my wallet card. It would have gone on a tab. First glass of wine would have gone on a tab. That's literally... This guy frustrates me so much. And he insisted he'd get the next one. Who's bro thinking he's gonna get a second date? Well, here we go. I was like, whatever, there's no next time. I paid for everything seemingly without a choice and ran out to my Uber. He followed me to it in a badly thought out attempt to kiss me for whatever reason. We talked about the fact that we wouldn't go home with someone on the first date. Like, but trying to kiss someone who's already said there's no second date. You've ruined my clothes. You've made me pay for our meal. Did he really think he was going to get lucky? Are men really that oblivious that he thought... He grabbed my arm, I lost my footing, slipped on ice, and ended up with a hairline fracture in my foot. What a date, though. What a story to tell. The fact that they just kept getting worse every turn we took. Blocked. Honestly, same. He would have been blocked quite some time ago. So that's entry 2. Do we have any... Oh, we have another date story time. Are we ready for entry 20? A guy asked me for a date. I said yes. Hey, good on you. He asked. Appreciate when guys actually ask. And not just like assume, or like, have you ever been in that situation where it was like almost like mutually agreed there was nobody actually asking each other? It was just like, cool, we're gonna go out at such a time, and it's like, okay. He told me he would pick me up, so I got excited thinking he already had something in mind. What a dream would it be to get picked up and told, cool, I've got plans, let's go. Or dress for this occasion, you don't get to know where we're going, but let's go. So nice. He picked me up and started driving. I was so happy since he seemed to know in which direction we were heading. Why do I feel like since we haven't been told where we're going that this is going to be a plot twist? Then he started to drive in circles, asking me what we should do. Why didn't we do that before we got in the car? 2, how was he stupid enough not to plan something? Or at least have a backup plan? Like, Google is free. Google is free. You can Google ideas for dates. Places in your area. If he would have asked earlier, we could have planned something. I was shocked. Yeah, I would be. Especially, I still can't believe that he got in. They started driving before he even, like, essentially admitted that he had no plans. But no. So we went to McDonald's. I feel like that's the most, like, classic teenager thing you could do, though. Not even a boyfriend or girlfriend. Because it's the only place your parents will let you go together and the only thing you can afford. I love that. I'll buy you chicken nuggets. I'll buy you a Happy Meal. It says, I didn't mind. I was more angry that he never openly communicated his lack of ideas for the date. Men and their sense of poor communication. I think that's my number one problem. Is I need somebody who will actually communicate. Because I say that, but I'm also, like, I'm not a mind reader and I don't expect my partner to be, you know? Or if they are, good on them, but I'm not. I'm no mind reader. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Maybe I haven't discovered my real skill in life yet. It got worse from there. He asked me if I was expecting him to pay, in a very not nice manner to say the least. So he didn't have a plan. It's not going to be very expensive. And it's hit on him, like, choose, yeah. She's not going to go and choose the most, like, if I was getting, somebody was paying for me to go on a date, I'm not going to buy the most expensive thing on the menu ever. Not unless you order, like, one of everything. And I doubt she was ordering one of everything, especially on a date. I told him he doesn't have to pay. I can pay for us both. Girl, why would you offer to pay? He's already had a crappy day. Why are we paying for the rude man? Then he started to get kind of cranky. Are we talking about a toddler? I think we're talking about a toddler, not a man. Telling me he is supposed to pay as the man. Then why on earth did you question it? Frustration. Like, what the hell? I agree, babe. I agree. What the hell? The conversations with him were decent, and he was overall nice, but I constantly feel like he never wanted to go on the date in the first place. Well, yeah, it kind of implies he didn't want to. Why did he ask you out in the first place, then, if he wasn't prepared for what a date meant? Some people. Regardless, after this, we did equal ghosting. Neither of us texted each other after that date, ever. Fair enough. Especially fair enough on your part. I wouldn't have texted him. I would have just been like, block. The end. So yeah, those were our stories for today. Do we have any input on the second one? I'm just like, why McDonald's? There are so many other quick fix foods that you could have got that would have been anything nicer. Like, sharing a Domino's pizza? Or a Pizza Hut pizza? Okay. But like, sharing a pizza, or you could do, like, you've got fish and chips on a beach kind of date. Though there's so many easier things that you could do that aren't expensive either. They're probably, I know, they're often, the thing is, like, fish and chips is almost cheaper than Macca's 9 times out of 10 too. Depending on where you go and what you get, yeah. 1 scoop of chips, yeah, hot dog or spring roll or something each. $5 or $7 a pizza. You can get some pizza and chips that's like $12 between the two of you. Because you don't have to eat heaps on a date. It's not, the point isn't to like have a full feed. It's to get to know somebody in a more casual, for a proper dinner, yeah. We're disappointed in men's lack of thinking. Yeah, Macca's is a bit simple. Like, I don't mind going to Macca's, and if I was dating somebody and it was like, cool, do you want to go do Macca's for date night tonight? We'll grab some Macca's and come home and watch a movie. That's a different story. Yeah, but also not a first date either. So yeah, thanks for joining us on this week of Coco Confessions. We confessed to 2 very different red flag kind of date story times, and I'm very glad that I was not either of these women. So if it was you, I am very, very sorry, because that sucks. And yeah, don't forget to submit your stories if you have any good ones to share. We do love hearing them. It's the highlight of my week, to say the least. And so yeah, you can find the link for the Coco Confession submission form in the show notes or the description. And yeah, we'll see you on Sunday, or we'll see you next week. Bye! I hope you enjoyed your weekly dose of Coco and Confessions. If you enjoyed today's stories, make sure to tune in, same time, same place, same Coco next week. And if you have a story of your own to share, make sure you head on over to the submission form, fill that out, and I hope to feature you soon. Toodles!